Shree Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha. Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikyamaulispurat Taranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhim Apinamakshuruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Bibhratim Saumyam Ratna Ghadastha Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam. Welcome to all for this story on Lalitopakhyanam. In the previous part, we were listening to the story of Indra, where Indra, being arrogant and filled with lot of self-pride, Durvasa was sent to curb his pride by Shiva. Durvasa, on his way, got the prasada of Devi Shankari from a Vidyadhara maiden, and then when he came to Amaravati, he handed it to Indra. However, Indra, out of ignorance, instead of receiving it on his head, he just simply placed it on Airavata, and Airavata, with its animal instinct, just simply threw it on the ground. And because Airavata is owned by Indra, Durvasa Muni finally cursed Indra for the mistake that he has done. Because of that reason, Indra lost his kingdom as well all his wealth. Then, after knowing the mistake that he has done, he went and surrendered to his guru Brihaspathi and asked him about the sin, the mistakes, and what are the remedies for that. And since last chapter, Brihaspathi was explaining the various types of sin and when they are really considered as sin or when they are not considered as sin, and then the remedies for the same. While explaining those things, he went on to tell the story of a Kirata named Dvijavarma. Once in the town of Kanchi lived a robber by name Vajrakaya. The people of this town were well to do, healthy, happy, lovers of truth, with minds and senses under control, full of kindness and blessed with all kind of prosperity. The robber Vajrakaya was soon able to increase his stock of pilfered goods little by little until it became so great that he, as a miser, would hid it all under a tree and covered it up with a stone for a sign, and began to live far away from that hiding place. A hunter, happening to pass that way with a heavy load of dry wood, rested at the place and finding the money hidden under the slab of stone, took away a portion of it to his home and spoke to his wife thus: As I was bringing a load of fuel in the deserted jungle, I came across this money. As you are always desirous of having plenty of wealth, I brought this to you. She accepted it most happily and said, There was a certain poor but wise Brahmin who visited our house often for charity. On seeing me, he prophesied once, saying that I would soon become very wealthy. Indeed, that there would be no woman wealthier than myself in this town. That although in days of yore the Valmika barn had cursed that Lakshmi would not tarry long in the homes of bills, hunters and actors, etc., yet I would be still wealthy for quite a some time. The sight of this wealth now has proved this Brahmin's words to be true. So it has been said that wealth earned through hard work always lasts longest, and that which comes freely of itself should be utilized for the welfare of all people. Therefore, let us now use this money for the construction of a large irrigation tank. Being pleased with that, his wife had to say, the hunter became busy and selected a large area lying to the west of the town and started construction of a very large tank which would hold the otherwise wasted water of the surrounding countryside. After paying the masons and the workers all the money he had with him, he found that the tank was still incomplete. He fell to thinking, thus, I brought away only part of the treasure. There is much more left behind. I shall bring this also bit by bit. He was thus able to complete the work of the tank. He then built a temple to Lord Vishnu in the middle of the tank. So soon the tank was full of purest water. He also built another temple for Shankara in the midst of the water. Where the forest had been, he cleared all the trees and built inns and chowtries and distributed them to Deva Brahmanas. He gave them in charity much gold and clothes and made them all contented and happy. He then addressed them all and said, how is it that a Kirata who lives by selling fuel has become so wealthy? how how he could able to build a great tank, how he could able to construct temples to gods and chowtries and distributed lands to you all. It is all through your mercy that I have been able to accomplish all this. Pleased with the Kirata and his devoted wife, they praised their noble action and garrisoned them Dvijavarma and Sheelavati. These two then collected all their relatives and continued to live and serve the people well. The new place thus created by clearing the jungle they named Devaratapuram. When Dvijavarma and his wife reached the end of their lives, the messengers of Yama, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra came thither and began to quarrel among themselves as to who should take possession of the two souls. Narada approached them and said, please stop your quarreling and listen to my words. This Kirata constructed the tank, etc., with stolen money. Hence, he will have to wander as a Vayubhuta, mean the ghost, till all the rightful owners of the wealth also die and leave their physical bodies. On hearing what Narada spoke, thus all the messengers went their way. For 12 years after that, Dvijavarma was to remain a Vayubhuta before entering Antariksha. Narada spoke to Shilavati and said that while she was free from all fault, she was really responsible for all the good done to the populace. And so she could go immediately to Brahmaloka. But Shilavati said she would not leave her husband, who had become Vayubhuta, but would wait till he really realized his bhoga body, that is the mental or heavenly, and would go wherever he went. She added, if there be any parihara, that means if there is any remedy, expiation that I can perform so that my husband may attain his bhoga body soon, sin, please instruct me, and I shall do accordingly. Then Narada told her, if you desire that your husband be granted a bhoga body soon, it means a bhoga sharira soon, I shall certainly enunciate a sure method for you. You shall fast and bath in the Mahatirtha daily and worship Shiva with Ambika and then eat only roots and fruits. Your mental worship to Mahesha should be Shatarudra Mantra Japa. Even Brahmahatya sin is washed away by doing 1008 japa of this mantra Shatarudra. So, without doubt, all other sins it will clear off to you. So saying, Narada initiated her into Rudra Dhyanam and vanished. Keelavati did as Narada had instructed, and soon Dvijavarma gained his Bhoga Sharira. and went to Sarkaloka with his wife. Then, in the meantime, the robber Vajrakaya also died, and soon the several original owners of the well that was utilized for building the tank, etc., also left their physical bodies. Yama called Vajrakaya and those others also to him and questioned as to whether they would suffer for their ill deeds first and then enjoy heavenly bliss for their good deeds or vice versa. They all wished to go to heaven first, and so it came to pass. They soon joined Dvijavarma and his wife in Swargaloka. Dvijavarma soon surmounted Svarga because a Pramadhagana and as a become and means Dvijavarma became a Pramadhagana and stays to this day in Kailasa. On hearing the above story from Brihaspathi, Indra wanted to know how Dvijavarma's good deeds were shared among the others. Brihaspathi continued and said, Dvijavarma and his wife got half share of the reward of the good deeds. The robber Vajrakaya received half of the Dvijavarma's share, and the balance became the lot of the others. The sins committed by word or deed can thus be explained by suitable good actions for the welfare of the world. Then Indra asked Brahaspati, kindly enlighten me in detail as to the kinds of drunkenness, its qualities, disadvantages, and faults and expiation. Brahaspati replied to him, there are varieties of wine, suitable and unsuitable, depending on the type of wine as well as the one who drinks. Soma is essentially during the worship of Lakshmi, Saraswati, Gauri, Chandika, Tripurambika, Bhairavi, Bhairava, Bhairavi, Kali, Mahashasta, that means Ayappa, etc. A Brahmin who is well versed in Vedanta must without fail use pure wine which he pray when he prays to Deva Devi for the fulfillment of his desires. When wine is thus offered as Naivedya to the deity and taken as prasada, it is very beneficent and no harm or sin will accrue to such a worshipper. Whether knowingly done or unknowingly, prayer at the lotus feet of Deva and Devi will cleanse one of all the sins, and that is the expiation paramount. If anyone drinks wine or other intoxicants without first offering it to Devi, he is sure to incur the sin. For he has drunk for sheer enjoyment. The warriors may partake of certain varieties of drink. The merchant class and the hard-working manual laborers also may drink. Means in the Varna, the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and the Shudras, because of the kind of work that they are doing, they may drink including women who, but it is always to be taken as a prasad after mentally offering it to their deity and never in excess. Widows, unmarried virgins, and women in menses should not touch any variety of wine. A married woman who drinks freely before a stranger, one who is not her husband, is akin to a mad woman and should be avoided. Means a married woman is allowed to have this kind of intoxicating drink only with her husband and not with anybody else. So, in this chapter, we have seen how exactly Dvijavarma, who happens to be a simple Kirata, While on his way to home in the forest, he found a treasure, and with the treasure, he did all great work like building the tank and building the temple for Deva Devi, for the Vishnu and Shankara, and did all the good karmas. But however, the treasure what he had found was something that was stolen by a thief called Vajrakaya, which was stolen from many rich houses. So finally, who will get the credit of building the temple, building the tank, and other great deeds? It was indeed, it was the credit goes to Dvijavarma and his wife for all the good thing they have done. But however, since Dvijavarma has taken the stolen money, so he will also incur a little bit of sin. So, however, because his wife had performed the Shatarudra mantra japa, he was cleared of that simple sin and he got into svarga and then finally became a Pramathagana under Shiva. However, the thief Vajrakaya had also got a share in that, and because of that reason, he enjoyed the Swarga. And even the houses from whom he had stolen it, they also got a share in that, and because of that reason, they too enjoyed the Swargaloka. On hearing this story, Indra wanted to know what all the sins which are associated with drunkenness, for which Brihaspathi explains it simply, saying that the drinks, the intoxicating alcoholic or the wine, these drinks are not supposed to be consumed. However, the people under Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra Varna, because of the kind of work that they are doing, because of fighting in the battlefield by Kshatriyas, and the money related business by Vaishyas, and the inherent hard work by the Shudras, it forces them to have such kind of an intoxicating drink to forget all their pains. And among these Varnas, both men and women married who married women along with their husband, they can take the drink. However, the unmarried or the widows are generally not allowed because the intoxication might spoil their life. However, the Brahmana is not supposed to have such kind of an intoxicating drink because his main job is knowledge based and intoxication would bring down his capability in terms of the knowledge. That is how Brihaspati explains how it will be considered as a sin or not a sin. But even those Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, when they are taking the drink, when they are taking the wine, they should first offer it to Devi and Devatas, and then as a prasad, they should drink it only as much that is sufficient and not in excess. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.